Have you ever wondered why you speak the way you do? Why do some people sound confident and authoritative while others come across as hesitant or insecure? Our speech patterns, vocabulary, and tone reveal far more than we realize. Whether you're having a casual conversation or speaking in a professional setting, the way you communicate sends subconscious signals about your confidence, emotions, upbringing, and even your mindset. Psychologists suggest that how we speak is not just a reflection of our thoughts, but also a mirror to our identity, beliefs, and social conditioning. Imagine two individuals answering the same question only using assertive, concise language and the other using tentative phrases like maybe or I think. Instantly, their words convey different levels of confidence and authority, but it goes deeper than that. Our speech is shaped by life experiences, emotional states, and even the people we interact with. Carl Jung believed that language is not merely a tool for communication but a window into the unconscious mind. In this video, we'll explore the fascinating world of speech and what it reveals about who you truly are. Let's start by diving into our first subtopic, the power of words, how language shapes your identity. Words have power. They can build or destroy, uplift or diminish. But did you know that the words you use not only shape how others see you but also how you see yourself? Every conversation you have, every phrase you repeat, and every thought you verbalize reinforces a certain identity within you. It's like building a mental blueprint that dictates how you interact with the world. Imagine two people describing the same situation. One says, "I'm trying to do better," while the other says, "I'm committed to improving." Both may have similar intentions, but their words convey entirely different energies. The first phrase expresses hesitation and uncertainty, while the second communicates confidence and determination. Over time, these subtle differences in language shape how these individuals perceive themselves and how others perceive them. Think about athletes who constantly affirm, "I'm strong, I'm unstoppable." These affirmations are not just motivational, they reprogram the subconscious mind, aligning thoughts and actions with the desired identity. Similarly, someone who habitually says, "I'm not good at this," reinforces a self-limiting belief that hinders growth. Language, whether spoken aloud or internalized through thoughts, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. In daily life, we witness how language shapes relationships. Consider a parent who consistently tells a child, "You're so smart and capable." Over time, the child develops confidence and believes in their potential. Contrast this with a child who frequently hears, "You'll never get it right." Such language embeds doubt and fear, shaping an entirely different identity. Even in professional settings, your language influences how you're perceived. Using assertive phrases like "I will" or "let's" do this project's confidence and authority, while words like "maybe we can" or "I think" may unintentionally convey doubt. Over time, this distinction affects leadership opportunities, trust, and influence. Carl Jung believed that language is not just a medium of communication, it's a reflection of the unconscious mind. When you consciously choose empowering words, you align your thoughts and emotions with your desired identity, creating a positive feedback loop. But words don't just reflect confidence or doubt, they also reveal emotional states, which can change moment to moment. This leads us to our next subtopic, emotional echoes, how your mood alters your speech. Let's explore how your emotional state can drastically impact your communication style. Your emotions don't just stay in your heart, they echo through your words. Think about the last time you had an argument with someone. Were your words sharp, defensive, and quick? Contrast that with a time When you were genuinely happy, your tone was likely warmer, your words more positive, and your responses more patient. This drastic difference is not a coincidence. Your emotional state directly influences how you communicate, often without you even realizing it. Consider a typical day. You're driving home after a stressful day at work. Your mind is filled with frustration, and when a friend calls to ask a simple question, your tone is short, and your answers are abrupt. The same conversation on a good day would have been filled with laughter and engaging dialogue. The words might be similar, but the emotional undertone drastically changes how they're perceived. When you're anxious, your speech tends to be hurried and scattered. Words tumble out as your mind races ahead. You might over-explain, stammer, or interrupt, reflecting an inner state of unease. On the flip side, when you're calm and confident, your speech slows down. You articulate your thoughts with clarity, and your tone becomes steady and composed. This change happens instinctively, because your emotions dictate not just the words you use but also how you say them. Even your choice of vocabulary reflects your mood. When you're feeling down, words like tired, hopeless, or stuck sneak into your language, reinforcing the emotional state. But in moments of excitement or joy, your speech is sprinkled with words like amazing, thrilled, or grateful. The words you choose not only express your emotions but also reinforce them, creating an emotional feedback loop. Think about relationships where emotional communication plays a big role. When a couple is in sync, their words reflect empathy and understanding. But during moments of emotional disconnect, the same words can sound distant, cold, or even hurtful. Recognizing these emotional echoes can transform how you approach difficult conversations, making space for understanding instead of reacting impulsively. Carl Jung believed that emotions reside in the unconscious, influencing our behavior and language. When we become aware of these emotional echoes, we gain the power to control not only our words, but also the outcomes of our interactions. But emotions aren't the only force shaping your speech. Your cultural environment also leaves an indelible mark on your communication style. This leads us to our next subtopic, cultural influence, how environment shapes your communication style. Let's uncover how your surroundings play a crucial role in shaping the way you speak. The words you speak are not just yours, they carry echoes of your culture. Imagine two individuals from different cultures meeting for the first time. One speaks directly, expressing opinions openly, while the other is more reserved, carefully choosing their words to maintain harmony. Their communication styles don't just stem from personality, but are deeply rooted in their cultural upbringing. Culture, often unseen, silently shapes the way we speak, listen, and respond to others. Consider someone raised in a Western culture where assertiveness is encouraged. They are taught from a young age to express their opinions, ask questions, and engage in open dialogue. In professional settings, they might confidently challenge ideas or express disagreement without hesitation. Contrast this with someone raised in an Eastern culture, where respect for hierarchy and maintaining social harmony are prioritized. For them, silence is often a sign of respect, and disagreement is expressed subtly or indirectly to avoid conflict. Neither style is right or wrong, they are simply reflections of the environment that shaped them. Even within families, cultural values influence how children learn to communicate. Some families encourage open expression, where emotions and opinions are shared freely, fostering verbal confidence. Others emphasize listening and observing, where words are measured and carefully chosen. These early experiences create a communication blueprint that often stays with individuals throughout their lives. Think about how cultural differences play out in professional settings. In a global workplace, misunderstandings can arise when different communication styles clash. A direct communicator might perceive indirect communication as evasive, while an indirect communicator might see directness as rude or aggressive. Understanding these differences can bridge gaps and foster deeper connections in diverse environments. Even small nuances, like the use of silence, body language, and pauses, vary across cultures. In some cultures, silence is a powerful tool for reflection and respect, while in others, it can create discomfort or signal disinterest. These subtle variations shape not just what is said but also what is left unsaid, influencing how messages are interpreted. Carl Jung believed that our unconscious mind is shaped by collective experiences, including cultural conditioning. Recognizing these cultural influences empowers us to adapt and navigate different communication landscapes with empathy and awareness. But culture is just one piece of the puzzle. Next, we'll explore the confidence code, assertiveness vs. hesitation in speech, where we'll delve into how self-perception shapes the way you express yourself. Your words don't just convey thoughts, they reveal how you see yourself. Have you ever noticed how some people command attention effortlessly when they speak, while others seem to struggle to express their ideas? The difference often lies in confidence or the lack of it. How we speak, whether with assertiveness or hesitation, is a reflection of our inner beliefs about our worth and capabilities. Picture this: two candidates walk into a job interview. The first one speaks clearly, makes eye contact, and expresses their thoughts with conviction. Their tone conveys assurance, making the interviewer feel that this person is capable and trustworthy. The second candidate, despite having equal qualifications, speaks softly, uses filler words like and maybe, and avoids direct eye contact. Their hesitancy makes them seem unsure, leaving the interviewer with doubts even if their answers were technically correct. This subtle difference in how they present themselves can completely change the outcome. Confidence in speech doesn't mean being aggressive or overly dominant. It's about expressing thoughts clearly, maintaining a steady tone, and using words that reflect certainty. Assertive speech is direct but respectful, allowing space for dialogue while conveying authority. On the flip side, hesitant speech is often laced with uncertainty. Words like I think, maybe, or I'm not sure undermine the speaker's credibility, even when they have valuable insights to offer. Hesitation in speech often stems from self-doubt or fear of judgment. Many people, despite having great ideas, hold back because they fear being wrong or misunderstood. This fear plants seeds of hesitation, which manifests through soft tones, incomplete sentences, and unnecessary apologies. Over time, this pattern can create a self-fulfilling prophecy where others perceive the hesitant speaker as less competent, reinforcing their own doubts. Interestingly, Carl Jung's concept of the persona sheds light on this. We present a version of ourselves to the world, but when that persona is built on insecurity, it reflects through hesitant speech. Conversely, when we align our inner confidence with our outer expression, assertiveness follows naturally. The good news: confidence in speech can be cultivated. Practicing assertiveness, eliminating filler words, and speaking with intentional pauses can rewire the brain, gradually transforming hesitant speech into a powerful tool of influence. But even beyond confidence, subtle speech patterns can reveal deeper fears that operate beneath the surface. Up next, we'll explore unconscious habits, speech patterns that reveal hidden fears, and uncover how the smallest verbal cues can expose our deepest insecurities. Your words whisper secrets your mind tries to hide. Have you ever said something and immediately regretted it, wondering why you phrased it that way? Or maybe you've noticed yourself apologizing excessively or downplaying your opinions, even when you know you're right. These unconscious speech habits are more than just quirks, they're reflections of hidden fears buried deep within the psyche. Imagine a team meeting where two colleagues present ideas. One speaks confidently, making their point with clarity. The other, despite having an equally brilliant idea, adds, "I'm not sure if this makes sense, or maybe it's a dumb idea." But the words are not just hedging, they're exposing a fear of rejection and a lack of self-trust. These subtle phrases often go unnoticed, yet they tell a powerful story about the speaker's underlying insecurities. Psychologists suggest that unconscious speech patterns are a window into our subconscious mind. For instance, over-apologizing is often rooted in a fear of confrontation or disappointing others. People who use phrases like "I'm sorry," but even in situations where an apology isn't necessary, may be carrying an internalized fear of being a burden. Similarly, using qualifiers such as "just," "kind of," or maybe weaken statements and signals a fear of being perceived as too assertive or demanding. Another common speech habit is trailing off mid-sentence, which reflects a fear of being judged. People who often leave thoughts unfinished may subconsciously fear that completing their ideas might expose them to criticism. Likewise, nervous laughter in serious situations is a coping mechanism, disguising discomfort or anxiety about facing unpleasant emotions. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow explains why these patterns exist. The shadow is the part of ourselves we suppress because it doesn't align with our desired self-image. When we fear rejection, judgment, or failure, those fears manifest in our speech, creating habits that sabotage our confidence without us even realizing it. But recognizing these patterns is the first step to breaking free. By becoming aware of these unconscious habits, we gain the power to reshape our speech and project confidence more authentically. But that's not all. Our speech also adapts in fascinating ways depending on who we're speaking to. In the next segment, Mirroring and Adaptation, how we adjust speech to fit in, we'll explore how this unconscious tendency can be both a strength and a vulnerability. We become who we speak to. Have you ever noticed how your tone shifts when talking to different people? You might speak more formally to your boss, use casual slang with friends, or even mimic someone's accent without realizing it. This unconscious act of mirroring and adapting speech is a survival instinct rooted in human psychology. We adjust our language, tone, and speech patterns to fit in, creating a sense of belonging and minimizing the risk of rejection. Picture a college student who spends the summer working at a corporate office. During office meetings, their speech becomes polished and professional, reflecting the language of their colleagues. But by evening, while hanging out with childhood friends, the same student effortlessly switches back to using casual expressions, jokes, and slang. This transformation isn't conscious, it's an automatic adaptation to different social environments. Psychologists call this speech mirroring, where individuals subconsciously imitate the speech patterns, vocabulary, and even body language of those they interact with. Mirroring creates rapport, signaling that we are aligned with the other person's thoughts and emotions. It's a powerful tool that builds trust and fosters connection, whether in personal relationships or professional settings. But why do we do it? At its core, mirroring is a survival mechanism. Humans are wired to seek acceptance within groups, and adapting our communication style helps maintain harmony. When we speak like those around us, we signal familiarity and belonging, making others feel comfortable and understood. This instinctive behavior is deeply ingrained, tracing back to early human tribes where fitting in meant survival. However, excessive adaptation can come at a cost. When we constantly shift our speech to fit others' expectations, we risk losing touch with our authentic voice. People who over-mirror may find themselves feeling drained, disconnected, and unsure of their own identity. For example, someone who constantly adapts to please different social groups may struggle to express their true thoughts and emotions, leading to internal conflict. But there's a balance to be struck between adapting to connect and staying true to oneself. Recognizing when and why we mirror others gives us the power to choose when to adapt and when to remain authentic. In the next segment, Mastering Your Voice, how to align speech with your true self, we'll explore how to strike this balance and cultivate a voice that reflects both confidence and authenticity. Your voice is your power. Don't let it be shaped by the noise around you. How often do you speak from your heart, expressing what you truly feel? Many people go through life adjusting their speech to match the expectations of others, losing sight of their authentic voice in the process. But what if you could reclaim that voice and that reflects your genuine thoughts, values, and emotions? Mastering your voice is not about perfecting your diction or expanding your vocabulary. It's about aligning your speech with your true self and speaking with unwavering confidence. Imagine someone who grew up in a strict environment where expressing emotions was frowned upon. As an adult, they struggle to articulate their feelings, often opting for safe, neutral responses to avoid conflict. But when they're alone, journaling or talking to themselves, their thoughts flow freely and passionately. The gap between how they speak in public and how they express themselves privately reveals the disconnection between their external persona and inner truth. So, how do you bridge this gap? The first step is self-awareness. Pay attention to how your speech changes in different situations. Do you soften your opinions to avoid judgment? Do you speak in a certain way to impress others? Becoming conscious of these patterns helps you recognize when you're adapting versus when you're being authentic. Next, embrace vulnerability. Speaking your truth often feels risky, but vulnerability is the birthplace of genuine connection. Instead of defaulting to what's expected, practice voicing your honest thoughts even in small, safe situations. Over time, this builds the courage to express yourself openly in all areas of life. Reframe silence as power. Many people fill pauses with unnecessary words to avoid discomfort, but silence can be a powerful tool. It creates space for reflection, showing that you are comfortable with your thoughts. When you pause before responding, you're not just speaking, you're choosing words that align with your values and intentions. Finally, practice conscious communication. Speak with intention, clarity, and authenticity. When your words reflect your beliefs and emotions, you naturally exude confidence, making others listen and respect your perspective. As you master your voice, you begin to feel more aligned with who you truly are. Your speech becomes a reflection of your soul, unfiltered, unapologetic, and authentic. But here's a mind-boggling question to leave you with. If your voice could speak only one truth to the world, what would it say?